About a year and a half ago, my wife went to a homeopathic doctor and he got her to do a food sensitivity test. And so my wife was hoping that I would do the test as well. Now, I am naturally a skeptic. And so when I hear about this kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's the kind of thing I want to do. But you know the saying, right? Happy wife, happy life. So I didn't really have much of a choice. So I went to see this doctor. And he told me something that I found very, very interesting. He said that as we grow older, what we tend to do is we start to have a diet that consists of the same 10 to 15 foods that we keep on eating over and over and over again. And I had a very similar diet. It was very true. When he said that to me, I thought, well, that's true. I kind of eat the same food every week, which consisted of meat, potatoes, vegetables, rice, stuff like that. And he said what happens is our bodies starts to create an intolerance to those bodies because we just give our bodies way more of the same foods and our bodies just doesn't have the time and the ability to process that food. And so what our body does is it stores that food away in our cells. And what happens is those stored away foods start to become fat and then start to cause inflammation in our bodies. So I did the food sensitivity test, and when the results came out, it was quite surprising. A lot of the foods on my food sensitivity test that was very high in a red category, as they categorize it, was the foods that I eat on a regular basis. Potatoes, breads, meat, interestingly enough, was not on my list. But certain types of fruit, like citrus fruit, because I love oranges, was actually high on my scale. Now, my wife is great because she then started to change our family diet and we started to cut out certain foods. So we eat especially potato only once a week. We don't eat any more white rice. We eat brown rice once a week. And she's substituted all those kind of foods with quinoa, couscous, wild rice, and that kind of thing. With your regular vegetables, generally there are no restrictions on regular vegetables. And then one of the other things that we've done over the last year is we've just cut way back on our meat. In fact, what I've done is I've only started to eat meat once a day. And so if I had meat today and I had any left over, I would take that to work. I would eat it for lunch, but then I wouldn't have any meat for supper. Now, I'll be honest, making a diet change like that in the beginning is not easy because you're so used to eating the same kind of foods. And when you start to take away, especially the kind of foods that make you feel very, very full, you do feel kind of hungry. But I've discovered things like avo, for example, eat way more avo than I used to, and things like that. Now, I can say what has happened is I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost about 25 pounds. And for me, that was a lot because I wasn't very overweight. I was a little bit overweight, but I wasn't a whole lot overweight. But 25 pounds made a huge difference to me. And what's interesting is I'm keeping that off. And I'm not on a particular diet. I don't try to limit my weight. I just eat very differently, but my weight has just come down dramatically, and now I'm just at the same weight. Over Christmas, I kind of slacked off. And, you know, over Christmas, you kind of eat more of the kind of stuff you don't usually eat through the year. And so I did pick up weight. But then after Christmas, once we went back to our regular diet that we have now, my weight just came down straight away. And now I'm just back at I just got a weight that I now maintain. Today, my wife bought me some new jeans because I'm not a shopper and I haven't really bought any other clothes. So I just tighten my belt more and my clothes just sits a little looser on me, and my wife hates it. So she's been buying me new clothes that's a little more form-fitting to my new weight and, you know, the way that my body looks now. Now, I'm not suggesting that a food sensitivity test is for everybody, but I do think that it is worthwhile to do that kind of thing, to go to a kind of person that does that, administers that kind of test. Generally, they send you to a laboratory, they draw your blood, and then they send it off. I want to be clear, this is not a food allergy test. They're not testing you for foods that you are allergic to, just the kind of foods that your body is sensitive to, more intolerant to, or in effect your body just take more time to process. It doesn't mean that you have to totally eliminate those foods from your diet. It just simply means that you have to limit those foods, space it out way more, so that your body have time to process that food and get it through your system. It has dramatically helped me. My cholesterol level has come down a lot without me doing a whole lot. So it is something that I would suggest to some people. Consider doing it and just try the diet that it points you to, because what it does is it shows you all the kind of foods that you should avoid or just eat much less of. In my case, it was mostly dairy, all the grains, and all the starches. Those are the three main things that I've just eliminated from my life, and it's made a huge difference. So that is my contribution for this particular video. It's a little bit different than what I usually do, but I thought I would share it just because today my wife just happened to buy me some new clothes, and I thought about why she did that. And if you want to find out more about it, I would recommend go online, Google it, food sensitivity test, find someone in your area that can point you to do those kind of tests, and just try that kind of diet and see if it helps for you, if it is something that you need. If you're happy with what you do at the moment, stick with what you do, but maybe this will help someone. And I'll speak to you in another video. See you next time.